Alright, what is up people? This is Ishbu once again, and I will be covering in this video specifically a guide on anchoring. Now, anchoring is a tactic I see very few Hero League and just in general solo queuers using, but it's a very, very important tactic, and it's very misunderstood. I've actually gotten flamed by my team for doing this in the right circumstances, and the basic idea, as you're going to see, is there are certain times when you as a player are not, or as a tank player, are not necessarily needed on an objective. Rather, the better thing for you to do is to sit back somewhere where you can see all the approaches to that objective, block them off, and ideally dismount people as they're coming in to give your team a safe retreat. So you're going to see it in a second here. This is actually, you're going to notice a lot of names in here. That's why. This is because this is SEL, which stands for Storm Elite League, for those of you who don't know. A lot of players at usually around 12 midnight EST play in something called Storm Elite League, which is basically a pickup league where a lot of the NA pros are going to play. So if you are interested in that type of high level gameplay, I suggest you check out streams for that. I know a lot of my teammates do, as well as a lot of other people stream this. Anyways, so this is, needless to say, a high level game. I'm playing Varian here, which if you've looked at any of my tier lists, you'd be questioning my sanity at the moment. But it was a fitting pick for this matchup. And you're going to see me doing something in a second. So right now, right off the bat, this is Towers of Doom. Enemy team has a much better early game composition than us. We're really looking for this Varian to hit 10 and get online, and then we can start looking to counter. And their goal is to snowball with this Task Tracer. Now, in this specific scenario, as you saw, our Li Ming, Crowan, unfortunately, made a wrong blink. He missed a blink over a wall and ended up dying for it. Not a big deal, but we end up getting a little bit behind here. You're going to see we're going to get a little bit behind on this race on the camp. So just playing this at normal speed. What you're going to see is, once again, a scenario. You're not going to see me dismount right here. I'm going into the lane right here. This is honestly a little bit of a mistake. I'm just getting some, well, not really. I'm getting some scouting information. I dismount. The second they come back into lane, you're going to see me holding this. So right now, you can tell, right, I'm literally trying to hold the flank position. And right now, the main goal here is just, we're not 100% aware of where everyone is right now. I don't want to get surprise ganked from the side, so I'm just holding this position. But more than anything, there's no real point in me being here. I'm just giving tracer bombs charge. Like, there's no real point to standing there. Might as well do this. And you're going to see my positioning here be very valuable once my team comes up and starts taking the sapper camp. So the enemy Greymane, I believe, is going to get a jump on it before our Li Ming is able to get here. And just like this, both teams are starting sapper camp. So Greymane over here, Li Ming Lucio over here. Now, as I said, we have a weaker early game, and one of the most important things to note here is the enemy team has this Brightwing in the top lane, which means if we do any fight here, it won't be a 3v3, it'll be a 4v3, because Brightwing can pour it in, and then the Tracer can snowball it. So what you're going to look for here is we want to play this super defensively. We want to rush this out before they can get all 4 members committed to this. So my team is going to start doing this. You're going to see me check this bush just in case, because once again, we've lost a little bit of vision. And then once I do, I'm going to take up what an anchoring position is. So right here, this is me breaking down the anchoring position. I do not need to hit these. I don't add enough damage to make it worth my time here. And if I did, this Tassadar could sneak in this bush and we'd have no idea. They'd have full vision. Brightwing could pour it in, and then basically the worst case scenario could happen, and they would be able to bully us off this camp and get 2 siege camps for 1. Instead, what you're going to see me do is hold this position and specifically try to slow down the enemy team's rotation across to our camp here. So once again, my team is killing the camp. I'm just holding this bush for vision. I see Tracer and Tassadar moving here, and I'm just trying to keep them dismounted. I'm not hard engaging. I'm not doing anything that would commit me to a kill. And just like that, I bought just enough time for my team to be able to get the siege camp. As I said, we're the weaker team right now, so I'm going to be running out to the right side. But we managed to avoid a worst case scenario of the enemy team getting both siege camp just by that move. So once again, as you saw, I didn't charge in. I didn't go deep for a kill. My team was over here, but they had no cooldowns. I was just trying to keep people dismounted and keep people outside of this chokehold right here. If they tried to walk by, they were going to eat some heroic strikes. So that is basically in a nutshell what anchoring is, and there's a lot of different circumstances. I'm actually going to highlight a couple later where I don't anchor. But the basic idea is I didn't speed up this camp by hitting it. Instead, I needed to make this camp taking safe and deny the enemy vision. So like, the opportunities when you do this are, say your team has like a Sylvanas or a Zari or anything where you're just pushing a wall and you don't see anyone. As a tank, your auto attack damage and spell damage is not actually all that high on sieges, structures. So what would actually, if you're not necessary there, what you actually want to do is go find a position. Say you're pushing into here, you want to hold a position like this bush or here where you can see all entrances to the lane. That way, if the enemy team starts running down, you can get full dismounts, like as I just did. So as you're going to see, we're going to safe disengage this, and just like that, we went even despite the fact that the enemy team has a much stronger early game composition. Now, I'm going to fast forward to an occasion later in the game. This game, as I said, turns completely around once we hit 10, once we get the variant online. So as you see, we're currently controlling the enemy's bot fort. We've got control of the map, and we've retaken a lead in points, in core points. So right now it's up to the enemy to answer us, basically. So what you're going to see is, as a group, we're going to be trying to push out this wave while we have 1 to 2 people soaking the mid top. There's not really much kill pressure on them. Anyways, we're just looking for kills with the variant taunt. I'm going to speed this up a bit. And this is actually going to be a circumstance where you're going to see, let's see, well, let's not speed up to what I actually want to show here, sorry. Alright, so this is going to be a circumstance where I don't anchor. So just breaking down why I'm going to hit this camp. One, my teammate pinged out that they were doing this, so we know their main like kill squad of Tracer plus Brightwing is top. 2, we saw the Tassadar agreement. And 3, we're just trying to speed this up. So this is one of those few circumstances where my damage as a tank actually matters. I'm trying to speed this up, cap this before we get the next altar, and we know that the enemy team cannot invade this, so there's literally no point to anchoring. So this is a very key difference to make right here. So if like enemy players are dead, if enemy players are all spotted and not in a position to engage and to invade, or the enemy team is just frankly not a threat, like if you're just trying to rush things down before they get there, those are circumstances to hold the front position, to actually just tank for your team and to hit stuff with just spam auto attacks. So this is a circumstance where you're going to see me doing not anchoring. I'm just going to clear the thing with my camp team, and as you can see, no one's even close to contesting. We managed to get it out just in time. The enemy is in a very poor, the enemy is going to make a very poor decision. They're going to hard commit onto this Hanzo top here and not get the kill, which is heartbreaking for them. So my teammate is getting this altar right now. My Hanzo is super chunked. He's going to need Lucio to run to him. And we see all 4 enemies here. We saw Tassadar bot. So what you're going to see me do now here is basically an advanced positioning. I'm not going to run to them. We don't have any kill pressure. Li Ming's still coming from bot. We're just kind of strong from him. So I am going to take up this bush pressure, and I'm basically here to make sure that they can't, I'm here to control this choke, and as you're going to see, I'm going to start controlling choke so that my team can slowly move up and get this altar once Li Ming joins us. So I'm out here providing vision, making sure my team can rotate in here safely. As you can see, because we saw them up here and because we're holding down here, my team can fully safe rotate in here. Scaring the Tracer here. The enemy team is really scattered, so they can't respond to us pretty well. Still waiting for Li Ming here, though. And now you're going to see me hold a complete advanced positioning. I'm going to try and block off this bush, because this is the only place I feel like Tassadar and Tracer can come, and they're the biggest stalls from the enemy team. So I'm now going to hold this and do a different type of anchoring. My teammate's going to try and get this objective, and I'm just going to try and cut off places where that can be engaged. So this is just advanced zoning. Probably should have taunted there, talked with that after we've gone. Either way, we're good. And then you're just going to see us end. The Greymane makes a silly move going to bot. We're going to be able to just get this. Here's an awkward moment here. I was just trying to tank to rush this down. However, Crowan is actually holding the anchoring position right now for me, and this frankly should be reversed right now. He should be, or rather he should be over here somewhere. But watch what Crowan is doing right here. We're taking this objective, and Crowan is holding vision for us, so the enemy team can't just free engage into this bush and then get up and then just be right next to us without us noticing. So Crowan is actually doing the correct thing here, and you're going to see me swap. I put down the flag as a half scouting measure right there, and now I swap places with him as needed because we have the Arthas to just sit on the point, and the tank isn't needed to sit on, and I'm not, as the tank needed to sit on the point. So I'm just going to block off this choke and make sure my team is safer to do this. And as you're going to see, we're going to be able to kind of clean this up nicely and end the game in a very decisive manner with a triple ultra cap into boss. So I hope that kind of captured a little bit of what I was trying to say. This isn't as, I feel like personally these weren't as good as some of my other examples of them, but anchoring is kind of a one and done deal. It's not a permanent position. And unlike the scouting, it's not going to be as impressive. Like, sometimes scouting, you can get cheese kills, you can see people making bad rotations and get picks, like I showed. Anchoring is all about making sure it's your team that's not getting picked. It's making sure that whenever your team does something, they're safe. And the best ones to do this are always heroes that are safe themselves. Muradin is a great example because you can just sit in a bush when the enemy team runs by, you walk up, you W them all, and you just jump away. And just like that, you've dismounted, slowed the entire enemy team, and your team has an extra couple seconds to full disengage. So, obviously, this is something that, as I said, I've gotten flamed by a team for actually doing this. My team was pushing a wall, and I was getting yelled at, like, why aren't you pushing with us? And then the entire enemy team just ran through the bush I was doing. I dismounted them all, and we got a free wall without losing a single person. So that's what this anchoring is all about, and the higher level you go, you're going to see this more. I even see a lot of amateur players not really doing this, so I would strongly suggest throwing this into your arsenal. It will make a lot of moves a lot safer for your team. Anyways, that is the gist of it. You'll see more in the writing below. So enjoy reading that, and have a nice day.